Every week, somebody walks into my shop and asks me the same question. I have got $15,000. Which Hyundai should I buy? My answer usually surprises them. I do not tell them which car to buy, I tell them which engine to buy. Because two Hyundai Sonatas can be parked right next to each other on a used lot. Same color, same mileage, same price. One will make it to 300,000 miles, the other will spend the next 3 years paying your mechanic's mortgage. I am Meg. I have been working on Hyundais and Kias for over 18 years. Before I tell you the engine I would actually spend my own money on, let me show you what I would walk away from first. So this engine has a story every Hyundai mechanic knows by heart. And it is the story that cost Hyundai more than $5 billion in settlements alone. The Theta 2 is the 2-liter turbocharged and 2.4-liter naturally aspirated engine, both using direct injection, that went into the Sonata from 2011 to 2019. The Santa Fe Sport from 2013 to 2018, and the Tucson through 2015. And here is what was happening inside them. During manufacturing, metal debris was left in the crankshaft oil passages. Over time, that debris broke free and circulated through the oiling system, and it starved the connecting rod bearings of oil. So the bearings wore prematurely. Then they failed. Then the engine seized, sometimes at highway speed, sometimes catching fire. The class action settlement covered approximately 2.2 million vehicles. Every affected Sonata, Santa Fe Sport, Tucson, and Elantra got a 15-year, 150,000-mile extended warranty on the short block. But here is the honest truth. A lot of these engines have already been replaced once and are on their second failure now. Think of it this way. Buying a used Theta 2 is like buying a house that just had a foundation problem fixed under warranty. The paperwork says the problem is solved. The reality is that everybody who lived in that house is telling you to check the foundation again in 5 years. So when you find a Theta 2 Hyundai on the lot, one question tells you almost everything. Has the engine been replaced under the settlement? If yes, get the paperwork. If no, ask when it was last checked with the knock sensor detection system. If the seller does not know what that is, you have your answer. Walk away. So this one hurts to put on the list, because Hyundai actually designed the SmartStream 2.5 as the replacement for the failed Theta 2. It was supposed to be the fix, and for the most part it is. But the first two model years, 2020 and 2021, had a real piston ring problem. Multiple owner reports of the same pattern. 10,000 miles into ownership, the engine starts consuming oil. Half a quart every 1,000 miles. Then a full quart every 1,000. And Hyundai issued technical service bulletins for it, but the fix required a partial engine tear down. Here is the specific engine to watch for. The SmartStream 2.5, engine codes G4KN, naturally aspirated, and G4KP, turbocharged. In 2020 and 2021 Sonatas, Santa Fe's, Tucson's, and Kia K5s. Hyundai revised the piston ring design for the 2022 model year, and the problem largely went away. Think of it this way. The early SmartStream 2.5 is like a restaurant that just changed its head chef after a food safety scandal. The new chef is genuinely talented. But the first 6 months in the new kitchen, there are going to be mistakes. And you do not want to be the customer eating in that 6-month window. So before you make an offer on any 2020 or 2021 Hyundai with the 2.5, pull the door jamb sticker and find the build date. Get an oil consumption test done. Check the last 5 oil change intervals. If the owner has been adding oil between changes, that is not a maintenance quirk. That is the piston ring problem. So, here is where it gets subtle. Because the 1.6 turbo is genuinely a fun engine in the right context. And on paper, a 2017 Tucson with the 1.6 turbo and a 2020 Tucson with the 1.6 turbo look almost identical. Same body, same badges, same interior. But there are 2 problems on the 2016 through 2018 version that a 1-year newer car does not have. Problem 1. Carbon buildup on the intake valves. The early 1.6 turbo uses direct injection only, so fuel never washes over the intake valves. Carbon builds up progressively, and by 60 to 80,000 miles, most of these engines need a walnut blasting job that runs $400 to $600. Problem 2, and this is the bigger one. The 7-speed dry dual-clutch transmission behind this engine has a documented failure rate that is genuinely alarming. Kia service personnel have quoted the working life of these clutches at 50 to 60,000 kilometers, which is barely 35,000 miles. Think of it this way. The early 1.6 turbo Kona is like buying a laptop with a battery that is known to fail at exactly the point the warranty runs out. The laptop is great. The battery replacement costs more than the laptop is worth by then. So before you make an offer on any 1.6 turbo Hyundai from this era, check the build date. Check the transmission for shudder from a stop. If the car has a delayed engagement of even half a second when you press the gas from rest, the clutch pack is already worn. That transmission is telling you what the service records will not. So before I tell you what I would buy, let me tell you the mistake I see every week. A buyer finds a Hyundai on Facebook Marketplace. Low mileage, clean interior, every BlueLink feature working, nice wheels, they negotiate hard, get a good deal, and drive it home. 6 months later, they are in my shop asking why the engine has started using oil. You can replace the seats, you can replace the screen, you can put different wheels on it tomorrow, but replacing the engine changes the entire purchase. The Hyundai you are buying is not a car, it is an engine. Everything else is furniture around it. Most buyers spend their time on trim level and color. The buyers who do not come back to my shop spend their time on the engine, the oil records, and the cold start. Remember what I said about the early SmartStream 2.5? Hyundai was paying attention too. The 2022 and newer version of the same engine is not the same engine. Revised piston rings, improved oil control, and the split-port injection system was finally working the way Hyundai always claimed it did. So this is the 277 horsepower turbocharged engine in the current Santa Fe, the Sonata N-Line, and the higher trim Tucson Turbo. And once you get to the 2022 build year and beyond, it is a genuinely capable, refined engine. I have customers with 2022 and 2023 Sonata N-Lines at 80 and 90,000 miles. Oil on schedule. Transmission serviced. No oil consumption. No piston ring drama. If you want performance from your Hyundai, this is the engine. Just do not skip oil changes. Turbo replacement runs $1,500 to $2,500. On a properly maintained example, most owners never get there. So this is the engine most people overlook. On paper, a 1.6-liter four-cylinder in a family SUV sounds like the budget compromise. In practice, it is one of the best engineered powertrains Hyundai has ever built. 231 horsepower combined from the engine and the hybrid motor. Genuinely usable low-end torque from the electric assist. Better fuel economy than anything in the Hyundai lineup except pure electric cars. And crucially, this engine is paired to a proper 6-speed conventional automatic, not a dual clutch, not a CVT. So none of the transmission failure modes that hurt the 1.6 turbo Kona apply here. This is the engine in the Tucson Hybrid, the Santa Fe Hybrid, and the Sonata Hybrid. And the hybrid motor takes the load off the engine at low speeds, which is the hardest work an engine ever does. Think of it this way. The 1.6 hybrid is like hiring a running partner. You still do the work, but you have got somebody helping you through the parts you were not going to enjoy anyway, and you both cross the finish line together. This is the people's engine. Underestimated, underpriced, genuinely refined. So, if you gave me $20,000 tomorrow and told me I could buy only one Hyundai, I would not spend a single minute looking at trim levels. I would spend every minute looking for this engine. The Lambda V6 comes in a 3.3-liter and a 3.8-liter variant, and the specific version I would chase, the absolute gold standard, is the 3.8-liter port injection version. The G6DA, 263 horsepower, naturally aspirated, no turbos. Port injection, which means fuel washes over the intake valves on every cycle. So the carbon buildup problem that plagues every direct injection engine simply does not accumulate. It went into the first generation Genesis sedan from 2009 to 2014. The Azera, the Veracruz, the Kia Sedona minivan, all of them use the same 3.8 port injection V6. Here is why the Lambda wins, and it is not what most people expect. The SmartStream 2. 5 turbo is a genuinely good engine, and I just told you I would buy one. What separates the Lambda is not reliability, it is what owning one asks of you. No turbos running hot after a hard pull, no intercoolers accumulating moisture, no boost pressure cycling through hoses and connections that age, no direct injection needing walnut blasting at 60,000 miles. Think of it this way, a modern turbocharged Hyundai is like a fine watch. Beautiful engineering, requires servicing by someone who knows what they are doing. The Lambda V6 is like a well-built pocket watch. Same job, wound up in the morning, runs all day. Everybody can service it. When something needs attention on a Lambda 3.8, it is usually a straightforward repair any competent mechanic can handle. The parts are common. The diagnosis is obvious. Documented service life on a maintained 3.8 Lambda consistently runs past 300,000 miles. I have customers with 2012 Genesis sedans still driving to work on the original engine. The Lambda does not ask much. That is exactly why it wins. You know which engine you want. Here is what to do when you find one. Year matters. On the Lambda 3.8, the 2009 to 2014 port injection version is the gold standard. On the SmartStream 2.5 turbo, 2022 forward is where the piston ring problem was solved. On the 1.6 hybrid, any year is fine because the hybrid setup has been mature since launch. Cold start is the test that tells you everything. The engine needs to be cold. Sitting overnight is ideal. Start it and listen for the first 30 seconds. A healthy Lambda warms up quickly and quietly. Any metallic ticking or rattling in those first seconds that fades as the engine warms is a sign of valve or timing chain wear. That belongs in your negotiation, not your purchase agreement. If the seller will not let you do a cold start, that is your answer. Ask one question about the service history. When was the last oil change and what interval was used? On a Lambda 3.8 or a SmartStream 2.5 turbo, an owner who cannot answer this or does not have records has not been paying attention to the car. That is the kind of ownership history where the oil intervals were stretched and the coolant was never changed. Records matter. If they do not exist, price that in before you offer. Current market. A 2012 Genesis sedan with a 3.8 Lambda in good condition runs about $8,000 to $14,000 private party. A 2022 Sonata N-Line with a 2.5 turbo runs $18,000 to $25,000. A 2023 Tucson Hybrid runs $25,000 to $30,000. The right engine commands a small premium over the wrong one. That premium is worth every dollar of it. Find the Lambda, find the service history, do the cold start, do not rush. The right Hyundai is out there, and it will outlast anything else at that price. So those are the 6 engines, 3 to walk away from, 3 to spend your own money on. And the pattern that runs through the whole list is honestly the pattern that runs through every reliable car ever built. The engines that use the fewest complicated components, that ask the least of their owners, and that let a competent mechanic diagnose a problem without a subscription to specialty software, are the engines that make it past 200,000 miles. If this helped you keep a little more money in your pocket, hit subscribe. I will see you in the next one.